Okay, hi, my name is Carol, and as a young teen I did not have a close relationship with my parents, but they were very religious and we went to church every Sunday. I was the youngest of 6 kids, and so, I missed some attention. Well, I met my boyfriend at a teen center when I was 13 years old and he was 15. But I liked the attention he gave me. He would ask me to sneak out with him, and I would. Then our relationship became a sexual one, and I ended up pregnant. I turned to him for help on what to do, and he didn't want me to go through with a pregnancy, so he gave me the money for an abortion. I was scared, confused, I didn't know what to do or where to turn. If I told my parents, I knew that they would know I was sexually active. I couldn't bear the thought of them knowing. I ended up going to Planned Parenthood for pregnancy counseling. They told me I was too young, that I had my whole life in front of me, so the best thing to do was to have an abortion. I couldn't have an abortion in 1973 in Connecticut, so I had to go to New York. The worker at Planned Parenthood in New York never told me, or in Connecticut, what was happening inside my body, or anything about the abortion procedure. She told me it was just a blob of tissue. I felt so trapped, so I felt trapped, so I saw my only option was to go to New York to have the abortion. I went alone in the abortion clinic as my ride dropped me off at the door. Nobody in the clinic ever asked me how I felt, if I was scared. The nurse just took me in the back room and the doctor performed an abortion. The moment I heard and felt that suction machine, it was too late. I remember feeling as if I was outside myself, not able to comprehend the horror and the pain that I was feeling. When it was over, I stared at this so-called blob of tissue. They had the clear canister right in front of my face, and a part of my face was torn away. There in that jar was my so-called blob of tissue. I'll never forget leaving that clinic that day, and I stood in New York City on the steps, and nobody cared. I just cried and cried. And as years went on, I became very self-destructive, and I asked for forgiveness, and back then there wasn't a whole lot of that. I was asked not to come back to church because it was a mortal sin when I confessed it. My destructive behaviors continued. I got pregnant 3 more times, and I did drugs. Each time it ended in abortion. I had nobody to support me, had nowhere to turn. And then I had 3 miscarriages in my 5th month. Each 5th month I lost a baby. I had no idea what the pain and the horror and what was happening to me until my doctor told me they ruined my cervix. I lost my babies because what they did to me, no one ever told me. For many years I felt so lonely. I have suffered from depression. I have suffered from problem relationships, connections with my family and my children. I'm 50 years old and I still suffer, many times I've gone to post-abortion, and that is the reason I'm here today, because I have healed so tremendously, but I'll never be the same. So that's why I stand here and I'm silent no more.